Welcome to Exquisitely Aligned. You may be on your path to having it all, the house, family, money, and travel, when suddenly something shatters your ideal world. It shifts your perspective. You are grateful for all that you have, yet you realize or maybe even decide having it all isn't all that. It may leave you feeling unhappy, unsatisfied, or unfulfilled. You're left wanting something even more fulfilling. But you can't quite put it into words. Others, they just don't get it. They try to pacify you. And that may leave you feeling a bit guilty. I get it. I've stood in your shoes. Hi, I'm Gina. Today we'll be discussing You've Made It, Now What? Today I want to shine a light brilliantly, brightly on a struggle that many elite, ambitious, and professional people face. It's making it to the top and then, wondering, now what? What that next part of your life can feel and look like. And today, most importantly, why this matters more than you think. Let's start with making it. What does it mean in our society when we say someone has made it? I often think of the game Monopoly. We go around and around and around, passing go and collecting along the way. We collect things like degrees, high school, college, master's, PhD, JD. These degrees allow us to collect titles, impressive titles, right? And these titles allow us to have even more money. You got it. And that money allows us to collect things like an even bigger house, or an even more beautiful house, and then cars to put in the garage, and jewelry and clothing and shoes to fill our closets. And maybe one of my favorite things, animals. We collect animals that always, always love us. They wait at the door for us to come home from that high-paying job with that impressive title. And then vacations. Of course, we need these vacations to give us a break from that very important high-paying job, right? Oh, how could I do this? I think I forgot something. We may have asked some very important people to join us on this journey of success. Possibly a partner. Maybe even we got married. Possibly we added children to the mix. You get the picture. This abundant life, full of things. It might even be so jam-packed that there's no real time for what's really important. Just busyness. So that's what I think our society means when they say, you've made it. Sure, my description, it's very, very different. There's no surprise there. I think you know I'm a free thinker. Enough about me. I'll share a story later. So we've made it. We're winning at life. We are at the top of our game. But then we look around. We have all these amazing, shiny things we once dreamed of having. They're now our reality. And the reality sets in that all these shiny things, they're just no longer cutting it. They lost their appeal. They lost their luster, if you will. And then these feelings come up. We've worked very hard, right? Degrees, initials behind our names, titles, the homes, the vacations, the relationships we thought that would support us along the way. The list is endless of this abundance. I have this conversation more than once a week. I just got off the phone, off Zoom with someone. These people, they're accomplished, they're elite, their determination paid off. Let me paraphrase for you, and let me know if you understand their sentiments. Most of the time they say to me, I realize I'm at the top of my game and I'm happy, I'm grateful for all that I've achieved. And that happens after we pull away some veils, right? Because they put themselves down first. But that they go on to say it's not what they expected. They tell me they are tossing and turning at night, wondering what else is there, asking, now what? What's next? The entire time that they're speaking to me, I'm sitting there nodding my head because I get it. I've stood in those shoes. After asking them a few more questions, they go on to describe there's something missing, a missing piece, a missing link, a missing part of the equation, a void. And then sometimes I hear they feel alone and they're yearning for something even more. Let me help you describe that a little better. Usually the case is they're looking for something even more fulfilling. And I understand this because I have stood in their shoes. What about you? Have you ever felt some of this or all of this? Let's break it down further. Alone. There's a tendency, certainly, to feel alone at the top. A void, a missing piece of the puzzle. We wonder what next. Now what? A desire for the world to be a better place, not just for ourselves, but for everyone we meet. So loneliness, what makes us feel alone? Could it be not fitting into societal norms or seeing the world differently than most people? Maybe it's experiencing this amazing world in a unique way that others, they just can't get. Maybe it's making it to the top, that title, it sets you apart, you're alone. Or could it be those long hours, those commitments within your community after work? Each of these things can make us feel alone. A void. There's something missing, a gap, a hole. It's something money cannot buy. It's something we can study, cannot study, and cannot get a degree in. It's this missing link, a void, an unexplainable void, one without words, especially because by all means we have made it, right? So why are we feeling a void? Most people around us, they're still chasing their dreams. They haven't achieved what they set out to achieve. And that doesn't make us any better or them any lesser, not at all. It's just that we're in different places. And so it's hard for them to understand us. Many people, they don't get to experience this place where we ask, now what? And we are used to being able to achieve everything we set our little heart's desire on, right? Sure, looking from the outside, you see a beautiful life and you know your life is beautiful. We've worked hard to make it beautiful. It's Instagram worthy, right? Others strive for what you've already achieved, this beautiful life that you're living. Certainly, it's what you originally wanted. But then those shimmery things, they kind of lost their luster. And these feelings start to emerge. Are you nodding your head? Are you with me? And I must add, I know you are grateful for all that you achieved. I know that. I hear that from these people that I speak with on a weekly basis. I know that you're grateful for all that you've overcome and that you're happy. You're happy and you're grateful. You just know there's something more, that void. And I'm here to tell you you're right. There is more available. It's waiting for you. It's calling you. Let's discuss that desire. There's this desire for everyone to live more, even more fulfilling. Here, this is where the conversation usually turns, and I'm used to it by now. It becomes this burning desire. It stems from, typically, I see them as having a big heart. These are passionate people. They're connected to everything. Do you feel that way? They want the best for themselves, but for everyone else as well. They're ready to help. They love deeply. These are gifts. They see and feel the suffering in the world. They see the simple changes needed to improve others' lives, and they notice the blind spots that others miss. They have this deep inner knowing that there is more out there for everyone. So we've already spoken about what it means to make it in our society. and how sometimes that leaves us feeling alone, a void, and a burning desire for this even more fulfilling life. So I want to ask you, why is this such a struggle? How can it be that we've been able to achieve so much already, yet we cannot easily find fulfillment and fill that gap, that void? Maybe it's because we feel caged in. And there's two ways that we can feel trapped or caged in. It's either by others or ourselves. Don't believe me? Here's what I've noticed. And I heard it today when I was chatting with a beautiful soul. Sometimes others, they may try to squash our heartfelt desires out of fear that we will change. Other times they may try to keep us from our true potential out of fear we'll grow apart. And they may try to keep us playing small out of fear that we will leave them. And that fear is unfounded and far from the truth. And then there's ourselves caging us in. That was not her case this morning. We feel judged. We fear the unknown, and possibly we feel unworthy because we know we've already made it. Why aren't we happy? We may decide to give up on that fulfillment and play a smaller role. But if we do, we will be unsatisfied. We will feel unfulfilled still. And that void screams even louder. Fear is unhealthy. It's outdated. It's a rigid way of thinking and being. Fear wreaks havoc on us and others. Fear moves us away from love. And I love love. I really do. I adore love. That may be the right way to say it. I believe that we are meant to live in love, to experience love, to embody it. And fear, well, it moves us farther away, very far away. Fear causes suffering. And suffering, it's unhealthy. It keeps us playing small. Suffering keeps us from living our best lives. I have to be straight with you because that's what I am, a straight shooter. As a big-hearted soul, you know you're here for a reason. You know that love is the solution. You might most likely also know you were born for now. You know you were meant to do more. You know you were meant to be more. So big-hearted soul, are you ready to make that big impact in your world? Today, the world is missing what only you can give it. If your eyes are welling up or you have goosebumps, then you know what I'm saying is true. You are being called. You're definitely being called. We are entering a very, very powerful, intense time in history. This is the time you were born for. This is what all those easy and not so easy life experiences have led you to. Sure, there's a price to pay for filling that void with fulfillment and achieving all your desires and expressing them unapologetically. You might leave behind money, career, marriage. You may leave behind friends. You may face judgment from others. But you know, it's not about the money. You know that. You desire a rich life filled with even more experiences, opportunities, and magical moments. You see that as the reward, not the money. But you know your real friends will always be there, and that others will appear as you need them. You know this is the reward. And the even bigger cost would be your suffering. The life that's waiting for you will also suffer if you don't do this. The lives you were born to touch won't be touched in the way only you can. And this I must prevent. I must stand 100% for your more fulfillment. It is worth the cost. Now, sometimes we face backlash. Are your loved ones looking at you somewhat puzzled? Is it that they simply don't understand your desires? They don't know where they're coming from? Do they think you're being maybe unreasonable? Are you finding it difficult to get support? Now, that wasn't the case this morning. If any one of those is happening, then typically it's only natural to trigger centuries-old, outdated, unhealthy, unnecessary patterns of worthiness. This is where we begin to wonder if we're worthy of feeling fulfilled. After all, we know we already are living this incredible Instagram-worthy life, right? We know we are already enjoying more than most people, and that's when we begin to second guess ourselves. We second guess our desires, our passion for more richness and even more depth in our lives, in our relationships. The truth, you're not alone. This has been happening for centuries. It's okay to want more. It's your right. It's actually your birthright. And you know it's calling you. That's what's leaving you with what now. That's what keeps you tossing and turning at the wee hours in the night. So let's look at the reality. The reality is we are so fortunate to be in the 21st century. I mean, really, we are highly educated. We have access to money, lots of money. This morning, the conversation went into possible lack of money. And then I said, there's money being printed every day. And this is you, and she agreed with that. This is your time. You are worthy. There's a pivotal place for you in this important, powerful turning point in this time that we're living in. And the best part of all is you have all you need within you. Not outside of you, but within you. I'm here to remind you to remember who you are. Remember your truth. Remember your desires. Remember your gifts. And express them outwardly and unapologetically, because this real issue is bigger and has greater consequences than just you feeling this void and then filling it. Okay? It's really important. If you don't live that fulfilling life that you desire and deserve, the one that's calling you, keeping you tossing and turning and losing sleep, if you don't, you can't be the greatest force for good in the world. You won't make the world a brighter, better place. That's tragic. If you don't live your even more fulfilling life, you'll leave the earth without living the life that you were born to live. That's dreadful. If you don't live that life, you won't be able to express your truths, your desires outwardly. You won't fully and completely express and experience your gifts, nor will others. That's unfortunate. It really is. So many people check out of our world before their time. And you won't experience synchronicity. The life that's waiting for you is one of synchronicity. Synchronicity, flow, whatever you like to call it. Let me share a little story with you. Let's see if I can make it short. Have you ever had a day like I had yesterday? I got up, went to the doctor for my follow-up of my frozen shoulder. He and I, the doctor and I, both agreed I had much improvement thanks to two things he did for me. I ran over to Target, and the backstory is I'm new to California. You see, in Charlotte, everywhere I went, I would bump into people I know. And that was exciting because I got to connect with them and hear what was going on. Here, because I'm new, it really happened. Rarely happens, but yesterday was very different. I went into Target and I saw this beautiful soul, someone I had met months earlier that I immediately felt connected to. It was probably about 6 months earlier. So I quickly ran over and said hello. She was as excited as I was to see her. We caught up on a bunch of things, what had been going on in her life and in my life, why we hadn't seen each other, and we exchanged phone numbers and decided we'd go for a walk because we both live in the same neighborhood. I was excited. I left Target with a huge smile on my face and started driving home. And lo and behold, the street where this gal lives off of is where I turned to park my car because I had to jump out of my car because there I saw a neighbor I had been dying to meet. So I ran over and introduced myself, and I was dying to meet her because of the two furry family members she had along with her. Emma, the miniature horse. Yes, she was walking her miniature horse on the sidewalk. And Brody, her beautiful, big, large dog. And I even got kisses from Emma. After all, you see, I've been guided here to California. I was told this is where I needed. This is where my work is. And I was obedient. Sure, my parents weren't too happy with us because, of course, we took 2 of their 7 grandchildren with us. But I had listened to those voices that whisper, and I am living in synchronicity. Okay, enough about that. Let me get back to that description of making it. I realize this goes against what society considers as making it, but this is where you experience your own personal paradise, the synchronicity I was just talking about. You're in sync with the universe. You find your flow in life. You fully and completely express your innermost desires outwardly and definitely unapologetically. You live with this natural gusto. It's beaming from you. You live in creation with the world, and you begin to lead others. You hear the universe whispering messages, and you listen, like I did when I was guided here. And you're guided to exactly the right place at exactly the right time. You know everything will always work out. You become even more patient. This is where you find true freedom. It's magical. This is what your amazing unlived life is all about. It's rich, it's abundant, it's blissful, but in a different way than those shiny things. You see those right people, they show up to support you. Opportunities just fall into your lap. Resources appear. You feel grateful for all those life experiences, both comfortable and hellish. You see the world again with childlike wonder. You exude joy. This is exquisitely aligned when you exquisitely align. That's when you know you are living the life that is meant for you. The one that's been waiting for you, the one that's calling you in the wee hours of the night, the one where you become exactly what you see missing in the world today. The only thing you need to do is when you're hearing that, now what, is answer it back. Listen, it takes commitment, it takes courage, it takes strength. I'm not going to lie to you. And it takes a hint of, or a touch of gusto. So I ask you, how will you answer? Will you answer yes? As I told the beautiful soul this morning, I'm here to help you. I'm here to forge a path ahead of you and to arrive at your destination before you. I'm here to advocate on your behalf when you face resistance, either internally or externally. I'm here to advocate when you feel tired and ready to quit. I'm here to advocate on your behalf when you think you've hit a roadblock or a dead end. Because you see, this is the work I've been called to do. This is my now what, my what's next, my void. And this morning, when I was chatting with this amazing woman, she understood when I said to her, I will be ahead of you. She said, it's funny you should say that. And she shared a story of something that happened the day before. She got it. I'm not here to coach you from the sidelines and cheer you on. You see, your now what is very powerful. It's far reaching and it's more impactful than just you in your home. You feeling fulfilled means that the people around you are able to be in your essence, feel your glow, smile along with you, be uplifted by being in your presence. And when you are feeling fulfilled and when that void disappears, you are able to touch more lives more quickly, more impactfully, more completely. The person I was on the call with this morning, for her, was expressing how she is ready to use her voice. And I love that, right? I'm all about that. Expressing ourselves unapologetically, sharing with others our gifts so others appreciate them, and then they continue appreciating. We appreciate them, we share them, others appreciate them, and they appreciate in turn. It's kind of like real estate, right? Well, real estate here in California just keeps going up and up. Yes, it's sort of softened a little bit, but it's still held its value plus in only 2 years that we've been here. And so it's about you going within, and I am here. I am here to help you with one-on-one work, with retreats, with occasionally I do seminars. And so if you're ready, and if you're facing a bit of challenge and you want somebody to be ahead of you, we need to connect and see if we're a good match. Because sometimes energetically we don't align, and I need for alignment, because that's where the passion, explodes. That's where things happen. That's where we move roadblocks, where we move veils, we remove the things that are in our way. That's where everything happens enthusiastically. And so if you would like to connect with me, you have two options. You can go to exquisitelyaligned.com/more or email me. So the first one, when you go to /more, you will answer a few quick questions so I'm prepared for you, and you hop on my calendar. You pick a time and date. Otherwise, you can simply email me, Gina@exquisitelyaligned.com. Till next time, be exquisite.